Hi again, everyone. Today I am going to be inoculating some popcorn spawn jars with some liquid culture media that is ready. I have some Cyclocybe agarita, or velvet pepinos, and then I have some shaggy mane. It's a local shaggy mane specimen that I found outside and preserved to cultivate. So these were both started on the 5th. It's been about a week, and if I can shake these up, let me get some light over here. Oh yeah, that's better. You can kind of see all the little bits floating in there. That's all mycelium. That's the shaggy mane, and then here's the velvet pepinos. They actually have a lot of mycelial growth up on the surface that I'm going to have to break up. But you can also see that they're growing a lot of little wispy fibers down here. And that's really all you want to look for. Clear liquid. It's a little amber because it did caramelize in the pressure cooker, but that's okay. It's still perfectly clear. You could read a label through it. And just those little wispy bits are what we want to suck up, get some of the mycelium. So I have some 10 milliliter, 10 cc syringes, sterile syringes prepackaged. I have a prepackaged sterile 18 gauge needle, 1.5 inch I think. And I only have one needle because I'm going to show you 2 different ways for doing this. A lot of the times I don't waste the needles because of the way that I prep my corn jars. So let's jump right into it. I'm going to start with the C. agarita, and I'm basically just going to shake this for a while and get these mycelia redistributed. Okay. They're broken up. Some people do this with stir plates or little marbles in there or whatever. I just stir them around for a while. It seems to get enough loose into the liquid. Alright, I'm going to set the shaggy mane aside, and we're going to transfer this in here. We're doing 2 of each, so I'm going to go ahead and pull 2 of these out for a second. Just give us some extra room. Now you see these jars have a filter patch on a lure lock cap, and they also have 2 injection ports. So I inoculated this one with agar, so I took the lid off and I just dropped the agar in. You can also inoculate with needles with a syringe through the self-healing port. But the way that I'm going to harvest these is I'm just going to spray everything down real quick. This is 70% isopropyl. And then I will wipe this down so you can actually see what's going on. Alright. That looks good, right? Okay. Alright, we've got a clean environment. I'm gonna spray my hands down a little. Alright, and now I'm just gonna wipe this down. In order to harvest these, we're actually not gonna really open them at all. We're just gonna pull off the little filter patch, right? So it's got a lure slide on that side. It's got a lure lock on the top. And then it's also got a another little lure lock attachment here, so that's what we're going to use. We're going to take our sterile syringe. We're going to make sure I have the right side. There we go. Open it on the plunger side so that I'm never touching the lure cap. And we're just going to take this and screw it on. Just like that. And now to harvest, all I have to do is tip the jar and suck up some of the fluid. I'm going to take 10 mils of our Pepino liquid, and then you're just going to take this, and little screws get stuck sometimes, so you have to hold them in place a little bit. Use this, and boom, there we go. Alright, that's that. I still haven't ordered my lure caps for these, but that's okay because I'm only using them once. Looks like I didn't get quite enough, so I'm going to just go back on here real quick and pull up the remaining few milliliters. There we go. And there's that. I'm going to sterilize this filter patch just a little and slip it back in. Alright, that's that. That's how you harvest with a syringe from the lure cap lids, which I really enjoy. What I'm going to do now is show you the official method for using the needle tip on these guys. So just set these for a second. I'm going to prep my corn jars. Messy. It's all right. Okay, so we've got 2 corn jars here. These are those simple lids that I showed how to make in my last video. So no injection ports, nothing like that. So the needle is fully optional with this method. But if you want to do it professionally, do it the right way, then go ahead and keep on watching this part. So we have our needle. We have our corns. I'm gonna just loosen these rings. Good. Take your needle. I have it in the port side up here where it opens. I'm gonna hold this loosely, and again, just open it, making sure that I am not touching any of the parts of the needle with any of my exposed gloves or skin or the box, anything like that. So I fold it down and I can hold it where I'm not touching the needle at all. Not too much force, you don't want to break the lid, but just slide it on and twist to lock, and boom, there we go. That's our needle. I'm gonna spray that with some IPA just to be safe. Spray these just to be safe. Why not? Alright, so if you had self-healing ports on these lids, room temperature silicone or rubber stoppers, whatever, then you would just take your needle and go straight in, sterilize it between each jar, and keep going. But I don't have those on these, and I've actually found that to be easier. So what we're going to do is we're going to put 5 mils in each of these. Ideally, you would be flame and alcohol sterilizing this needle tip in between each if you were pushing it through an injection filter or an injection port. But I am not doing that. I'm just lifting the lid. So I'm not going to flame sterilize in between because I don't really think it's necessary. You could if you wanted to be extra careful, but I'm just going to do it this way. So we have our needle here. I'm going to gently slide the lid, and I'm just going to inject half of this kind of over the top and down the side. Not putting too much force because I don't want to shear the mycelium through the needle and break them. And there we go. All right. Screw that back down. That's jar 1. We're going to take our jar 2. And again, you might want to flame sterilize. I didn't touch anything, so I'm not going to. This ring is a little bit more stuck than the last one. That's okay. Just pry that up there. Slide it over. And I can feel some pressure in here. There's some mycelium getting clogged in that little. I'm going to extra pressure. It's the only problem with doing the agar method. Sometimes you get tiny little bits of agar sucked up in there, and they just gum up the system. Come on. Come on, just press it through. Alright, not crazy about this, but to fix that I'm going to have to suck up just a little bit of air. There we go. Alright, give this a shake, and hopefully get the rest in here without that happening again. There we go. Alright. That was a little messy, but it should still work. Let's take our needle cap and put that back, make this inert again. Alright, and now we have these jars. I'm going to go ahead and label, wipe them down. Alright, let's get our red Sharpie in here. And these were the C. Garita, and today is 10/11/25. These are also often referred to as poplar mushrooms. So, boom. And now I'm just gonna give them a nice little shake and get that liquid mycelium distributed all around the grain. I like to shake them on their side and then top to bottom. There we go. That's that. That is the sort of ghetto proper method. Let's get these out of our workspace. And we're done with the agarita culture. We're going to transfer in our shaggy mane culture and our other corn jars. Alright, get rid of any trash. Kind of reset the station. We're gonna spray everything down one more time, gloves included. Wipe this so you can see. Of course, this is all happening inside the still air box. It's got open holes. It's not taped in gloves or anything, but I've had very low contamination with this method. This is just a cheap, I think like a 68 or a 70 quart sterilite plastic storage tote. Cut 2 holes for my arms and taped them up so they're not all ragged and slicing me to pieces. That's it. It was very cheap. I think it was $12 for the bin and a couple bucks for an X-Acto knife. Heat it up and slice right through. Alright, so we have our shaggy mane here. We do the same thing, just shake this up, get the mycelium nice and distributed. And this is going to be the second method that does not use a needle, because I don't like making the extra sharps waste if we don't need to. Alright, so we have our jars nice and wiped down here. Sprayed down, I guess, not wiped down. Got our shaggy mane culture. Just make sure it's nice and broken up. And we're basically just going to do the same exact thing. We're going to take our little filter out here. We're going to take our syringe, load it up, and then shoot it in. So let's open this up, open it from the stopper side again. That way you're not touching any of the business parts with dirty gloves or anything. Pull this out, set it there, take our syringe, we're going to lock it in, tilt the jar, and we're just going to draw up 10 mil, 10 cc's. Boom, just like that. Then we're gonna hold the port and unscrew this guy and get our filter back in. Boom. All right, that's that. Spray down my hand since I just took it out of the box. Gonna loosen our rings. All right. No syringe or no needle, just the syringe tip. Same process. We're just gonna lift and slide and inoculate. Just kind of down the side there. Got our 5 mils. Put this back on. Go to the next jar. Lift and slide. And quickly, but not too much pressure. There we go, the rest of that. Alright. So, that's that. Gone through 2 different methods. Now we just need to close these up and shake them well, give them a nice label. And hopefully we'll be able to grow some more of this local shaggy mane specimen and my first poplar mushrooms. Let's wipe these down. Grab our trusty Sharpie, and this is going to be shaggy mane. And today is 10/11/25. Shaggy mane and 10/11/25. All right, that's it. 2 different methods, one kind of professional. Again, if you had the injection ports, you could have used those and just flame or alcohol or both between. But honestly, you don't really even need it. You just need one syringe. You can even buy the autoclavable syringes and clean these out and pressure cook them, reuse them. Suck them up through the lure port there on these nice custom lids, and then just shoot it right into your jar. Very simple, very safe, very low risk. I think the only way it would be lower risk is if you went in with the needle through the port, but even then you're penetrating the port to go inside, so I feel like there's just as much risk of contamination that way. That's my method. It's worked well for me. I hope I was able to share some information with you, maybe make it a little easier or a little cheaper to get into growing your own mushrooms. I think that's all for today's video. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and we'll see you guys later. Peace.